Alright, YouTube and Bethesda community. So a while back on my channel I did a video called like Fallout 3 every unique perk. And what I meant by unique perks was pretty much every perk you could get in game outside of leveling up, like in using a skill a perk point or whatever. And I thought I'd do that for Skyrim since it's kind of popular now. You know, it's made a return. It's something I wanted done a while ago because like Skyrim was kind of dead. But we're not going to cover the standing stones, the racial abilities, or the blessings you can get. You know, the racial ability is something you choose at the very beginning of the game when you create your character. And then standing stones and blessings, they change all the time. Blessings don't even last. They only last like I think 8 hours or something, and you got to go get it again. And standing stones, while it is permanent, or some of them aren't. Some of them are only like daily, or once a day or whatever, or one-time uses. Those don't count either. So we're not going to cover those, but let's get right into it. First up is Beast Form, which allows you to turn into a werewolf, and you actually pick this up by joining up with the Fighters Guild in Whiterun. You can meet them outside of Whiterun. I think that's where I've always found them at. And this, like I said, it'll allow you, once you go through some of their questing, you will be able to turn into a werewolf. And with the addition of the Dawnguard DLC, you got an actual perk tree and everything where you could increase your damage and all those things. Really, really awesome. Also, while you're a werewolf, you resist disease 100%. Next up, of course, is the Vampire Lord perk, and this allows you to become a vampire. In order to get this during the Dawnguard quest, so you gotta have the DLC for this, of course. During the quest Bloodline, you gotta side with Harkin and that whole vampire clan. And as a vampire, of course, you get your own perk tree and everything. You also get 25% harder to detect while sneaking. You resist disease 100%, resist poison 100%. You resist frost 25%, but you're also weaker to fire by 25%. So to me, just these bonuses alone, like a vampire is just better than a werewolf. That's my opinion, though. Next up is the Summon Karstag ability. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name right. Obviously, this allows you to summon him, and he is a very hard enemy. You get him during the Dragonborn DLC on Solstheim, like the island, and he's super hard. He has a static level of 90, so no matter what level you try to fight him at, he will be level 90. As you're fighting him, he's regenerating health. He has like a frost storm around him that damages you constantly. He summons Ice Race. He has your normal giant abilities where he can hit you and knock you back. Super, super hard. But in order to get him, you got to go to the Glacial Cave and get his skull, and you got to come back to the Castle Karstag ruins and put it on his throne. And that's what summons him. And then once you beat him, you get the ability to summon him. But you can only summon him 3 times at all, and you can't do it. You got to do it outdoors. Obviously, you can't do it indoors because he's a big character. And this is a really cool thing that I didn't know for the longest time you could do, but only 3 times kind of makes it not as cool. Next up is a couple of Nightingale abilities, which you get during the Darkness Returns quest, which is the final quest for the Thieves Guild. Now, you can only have one of these active at a time, and they're all 3 once per day. Nightingale of Shadows, and you get invisible for 120 seconds while you're crouching. So as long as you're crouch sneaking, you're invisible. Nightingale Subterfuge, everyone around you that is affected by this it will attack everybody for 30 seconds. And then the last one is Nightingale Strife, which you just absorb 100 points of health, which I learned just now by looking it up, that it'll hit people behind them, I guess. It'll go through enemies, something I didn't know. The one that's the best to me is Subterfuge, because for one, they're really all not that good because it's once per day. Neither one of them are worth being once per day. But at least this one, if you come into an area with a shitload of enemies that are attacking you, you can hit that, they'll all start attacking each other. That just seems like the most useful one to me. Next up is a Summon Arniel's Shade ability. You get this from a side quest you pick up in College of Winterhold called Arniel's Endeavor. You get the very end of it all. It fights with ranged shock and fire attacks, and it's immune to most physical attacks and poisons. Now, I've obviously done this quest, but I don't think I've ever used this ability, this summon, because I like to do conjuration things. I don't think I've ever actually used this. It sounds pretty good. Next up is the Spectral Assassin power, and this allows you to summon, obviously, a Spectral Assassin. Now, you get this at the end of the Bound Until Death quest, which is part of the Dark Brotherhood. He's really not the greatest thing ever. He's only physical attack and everything, but the thing is, he lasts until you either summon something else or he dies. He's permanent, whereas Karstag and some of the other ones are on a time frame. So it's pretty cool. I've used him a lot, actually. Next up are a couple of passive abilities you can get in the game. And the first one is Agent of Dibella, which you get from this lovely-looking guy right here in Markarth. You get the quest, the Heart of Dibella, where he has you break into the Temple of Dibella and steal a statue of Dibella. There's a lot of Dibellas there. But anyways, it gives you the ability to do 10% more melee damage to the opposite sex. Not a bad one. Next up is Agent of Mara, which gives you 15% resist magic. And this is one you get in Riften. You go to the Temple of Mara and you pick up the quest Book of Love. And it kind of has you going all over Skyrim to help people, with their love situation, and then at the end of it you get this, which is actually a pretty damn good passive. Next we have Ancient Knowledge, which gives you a 25% armor bonus when wearing Dwarven armor, and your smithing increases 15% faster. Now you get this also in Riften. You got to go to the Riften docks, and there will be an Argonian chick walking around called From Deepest Fathoms. She'll give you a lexicon that she wants you to return it to a Dwemer ruin, and then at the end of the quest, whenever you place it in the lexicon where it needs to go, you get this. And it's actually pretty good. And one cool thing about this is, with this ability and your smithing high enough, your Dwarven armor will be stronger than Ebony armor. Now you still have heavy Dragon armor, and you still have Daedric armor above, Ebony and Dwarven, but it's still a pretty good ability early on, and the smithing increase is definitely nice. Next up is Dragon Infusion, which gives you 25% less melee damage from dragons. You get this kind of in the main quest. Whenever you recruit 3 members to the Blades, you'll get a quest from Esbern, where he has you present him with some dragon scales and dragon bones. And once you do, he gives you a potion that you have to drink. And when you drink the potion, you get this ability. Now, this is obviously a really good, passive ability. It's a little bit later in the game, because it's with the Blades and dragons and all that stuff. But it's a really good one to have as soon as you can get it, because obviously you're going to fight a lot of dragons in the game. So definitely get this one if you haven't. Next is Sailor's Repost, and it allows your healing spells to cure you 10% more. You pick this up from a quest you get when you enter Frostfall Lighthouse. You'll find a journal in there where you see that a bunch of people got murdered, and you got to figure out what happened. At the end of the quest, you'll get this passive effect. Obviously, this isn't the greatest effect ever, if you're not using healing spells, you would never need this. But I tend to do kind of a little bit of everything, so this is something that I've used decently often. And at the end, you do fight like a Course Reaper, which is it's kind of a boss fight, not super hard, but it's something just to know ahead of time. Next up, we have Sendarion Serendipity. And what it does is, every time you craft a potion, you have a 25% chance of making a duplicate of that. Obviously a very good ability. And in order to get the quest line to get this, you have to go to Blackreach, which is underneath the entire map, and you gotta just pick, or whatever you want to call it, a Crimson Nirnroot, and it'll give you a quest called A Return to Your Roots, where you gotta figure out what caused the Nirnroots to be red or crimson, and then you get this ability. Damn good ability if you're into alchemy and making potions and stuff. Obviously, this shit's crazy, man. I don't think I've ever really got this ability when I was super into alchemy, but it makes me want to do this next time I'm playing. Next up is a couple of passive effects you get, but they don't actually appear when you look under your active effects in game. The first one is Prowess Prophet, which you get when you find your first unusual gem and take it back to Vex in the Thieves Guild. She'll give you a quest line called No Stone Unturned, where she has you find all the other stones of Baronzia, or Baronzia, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, the effect gives you the ability to find more gems when you're looting. So when you're looting a chest or something, you'll find more rubies, sapphires, diamonds, all those things. Not exactly the best effect, and I'll throw up a little quick map that you can pause and look at, where it gives you the general idea of where the stones are. Next, we have Archmage Authority, which you get at the end of the College of Winterhold quest line during the Eye of Magnus quest. All this does is give you better prices with people inside the College of Winterhold, which they have so many vendors and stuff in the College of Winterhold that sell you all kinds of different things like spells and items. So it's not the best, not the worst ability, but it's definitely something you should get, because you should do the College of Winterhold quest line anyway and become the Archmage. And last up is Gift of Gab, which makes your speech skill increase 15% faster. So this is actually a pretty good one. You get it from a quest called Tending the Flames that you get at the Bard's College in Solitude. And it's a pretty quick quest. It's really not that complicated. But this is definitely something you want to get as soon as possible, because as you're buying and selling things, that's what makes your speech go up. And I think speech challenges and things like that will make your speech go up as well. So this is something you want to get as soon as possible, that way you can get your prices better and everything. So like I said near the beginning of the video, we purposely didn't cover the Standing Stones, the racial abilities, the blessings, and I also didn't cover the Black Book quest line you get. It's a repeatable quest you get called Lost Knowledge. You get during the Dragonborn DLC that allows you to go through these books, and at the end of each quest you get you get a pick from one of 3 abilities. There's about as many of those as there are in this video alone, so I didn't want to make the video twice as long. But I thought this was a good video idea. I did it for Fallout 3, over a year ago. It's a pretty well received video, one of my more viewed videos, so I thought this would be something helpful to people. Skyrim Special Edition just came out. Some people may have never played Skyrim. They maybe haven't played in a long time. Maybe didn't know that some of these abilities existed, because sometimes it's hard to find these quests and things. Skyrim's such a huge game, you don't even know that I don't even know that I've ever done all the quests. So I thought this was a pretty useful video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Later.